songs, but this one's pretty good. Oh, don't you agree? Now if you will do me the kindest courtesy and stop what you're doing to sing with me. I love me. It shouldn't be hard to say. I love me. I think I'll say it every day. I love me. I'll yell it early and late. I love me. Oh, and let's lose some weight. Ba-da-da-dum.
Hey, hello, how are you today? I'm Leonard Lou Stevens, and this is another episode of Weight Loss, Love Gain, as you could probably tell by the theme song. So, this week is another time for celebration. If you can't tell, I'm probably going to celebrate at the beginning of each video. I'm going to try to make it so that doesn't become trite and cliche, but I'm really going to try to actually authentically celebrate. And this week, I do really want to celebrate that we're back. This is 3 weeks that we're doing something now. You and I together doing something. And last week's video was 30 minutes long and 50 people still watched it. And I got 3 more subscribers. Folks, this is amazing. So, all that to say, I am continue to be incredibly encouraged. And there is definitely a part, if not a major part, of loving yourself that other people have to give you. And I just, not having that resource, I think, naturally, I am really, really grateful for all of the love and kindness and encouragement that everybody is sending my way. So, yeah, keep it up. Thank you. All right, so let's orient ourselves because we've been out in the jungle of love and weight loss for a week. And so let's come out of the jungle and see where we're at, okay? So we are operating under the assumption that by building love for ourselves, that will allow us to make real changes in our lives. And how are we doing that? Part of it is that every week we're creating a win. We're making small changes in our lives so that Monday morning we can wake up, get a win. This week, woo! I had a win. This morning I woke up and I weighed 283.7 pounds. Yep, my scale is that precise. And since last week I weighed 286.2. That means that I lost 2.5 pounds. So I lost 1.5 pounds last week, 2.5 pounds this week. So all told, I've lost 4 pounds in 2 weeks. That's an average of 2 pounds a week. That's pretty good. That's right on track for my goal. So perfect. That is a win. That win gives me confidence. Boom. Confidence. That confidence creates momentum. And that momentum, once we have enough of it, should propel us through the rest of the diet. Okay? Because it will become, instead of just being momentum, it will become a routine. It's right now we're speeding up. I don't know if you guys drive stick shifts, but right now we're in first, second, third, fourth gear. We haven't gotten on the highway yet, right? We're still working up to that. We're still building momentum. So once we get on the highway and get into fifth gear, and maybe we can put cruise control on, and that's once we feel like we can start hitting cruise control, that is where we can enter the next phase, all right? Which, again, I'm being intentionally vague about. So, for right now, we're just going to continue to create wins for ourselves, okay? So, how did this week go for me? Well, already great, because I created a win for myself. But let's talk about love, because while the focus of all this, part of it is weight loss, the bigger part is learning to love myself. And that went fantastically this week. I gotta say, honestly, I am more in love with myself this past week, these past couple days, than I've been in my entire life. Like, I've got positive self-talk going on. I'm making healthier decisions. I'm able to rebuff negativity, all that sort of stuff. And so that's amazing. Like, you guys better watch out. If I get healthy, the world ain't gonna be ready for that. No. Because this guy healthy, woo, changes everything. So look forward to that. Get ready, because it's coming. Last week, I talked about 3 things that I was doing to improve my love of myself, to love myself more. And those 3 things were gratitude, positive self-talk, and treating yourself. For gratitude, I didn't do that every day because last weekend or Monday or Tuesday or something, I was doing some journaling and I had some really good thoughts about gratitude that kind of changed the way that I thought about gratitude, which I will explain later, and maybe in another video. That's your choice. And yeah, that's a teaser. Boop, boop, boop. Teaser for the next episode or another episode. It's actually going to be your decision, but more on that later. Again, it's a teaser. It's saying something now to entice you to listen longer for later, kind of like the credit scene. So I'm just doing everything I can to get you to watch till the end of the video. But you don't have to. You can stop whenever you want. I'm just happy you showed up for the beginning. Woo! So, that's gratitude. Then, speaking kindly to myself. This was baffling to me. This, I don't know if baffling is the right word, but I'll explain what happened. You can put a word to it. I started a 12-week course called The Artist's Way. And we worked through a book called The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. Let me make sure that name is right. It is. And part of that is every morning you write down affirmations, right, that you have crafted for yourself to rebuff often negative self-talk, right? So you say, like the first one you start with is, I, Leonard, am a brilliant and prolific writer. And in response to that, there's a whole bunch, a swarm of negative self-talk that Julia Cameron calls blurts, I believe. Blurts. And then you're supposed to write more affirmations to respond to those blurts. And eventually you get a nice little paragraph that, you know, your negativity really doesn't have anything to say about it, right? And so while I'm, on one hand, trying to have more positive self-talk, here, from a completely different sphere of my life, comes this very natural, organic way to love myself, to talk positively to myself, that I do every day, that part of the class is doing every day. So part of me doesn't think that's a coincidence, probably a large part, but what I'd like to, I don't want to encourage, well, I think everybody should do The Artist's Way. It's been a phenomenal book. I'm only 2 weeks in, but that might be overwhelming for some of you, obviously. So what I really encourage you to do is just during this period where we're building momentum and we're trying to figure out things to do to love ourselves, just keep your mind and eyes open for potential ways that those might be showing up in your life. You know, like it might be cropping up in your life. And, you know, when I filmed this first video, I wasn't even thinking of, I didn't even know these affirmations were coming. So it might be something that had happened, might be something that will happen shortly, but just, you know, open your periphery a little bit to be like, well, maybe this is something I could incorporate from my daily life that would help me in talking positively to myself. So that went really well. The third thing was to treat yourself. And I didn't do great with this. I kind of just stopped treating myself, which is not great. But I mean, I was doing really well with the affirmations, but it's okay. I don't have to make excuses because my worth, my identity is not wrapped up in how well I treated myself last week. But when thinking about treating yourself, I came to a revelation that I am now going to share with you, and I hope that you use, and it'll go up on the wall. So you don't have to write it down or anything. It'll be here next week. But I was getting ready to take my cheat meal, right? And I was thinking about last week when I, had gorged and almost, blew my goal for last week, which would have been fine, but I'm glad I didn't. And so I was getting less food. And so I was thinking, well, why don't I just give myself, some treats and make that a meal? And I was thinking, why do we call it a cheat meal? Right? Cheating is bad. It implies negativity and lying and trickery and deceit. Why are we putting that in the middle of our love and weight loss routine? No, we're changing our mindsets. No longer will it be cheat meals, okay? We're going to call them treat meals. It even rhymes. Why? I've never heard anybody call them treat meals, right? What? Is it just that American culture is so negative that we haven't come up with this rhyming word? Maybe I've missed it, but I've been in weight loss, trying to lose weight since I was 6 or 7 in Weight Watchers, and they've always been called cheat meals, just negative right off the bat. They're a bad thing. I shouldn't do this. No, it's a treat meal. It's a good thing. You deserve a treat. You're worth it. Treat yourself. Wisdom. So, treat meals, not cheat meals. Boom. So, that was pretty epic this week. I enjoyed that. So, love's going well. What about diet and exercise? Diet's going good. Again, I was just making minimal changes and trying to make that treat meal, not a cheat meal, trying to make that treat meal a little bit lighter, which I did, and I ended up losing 2 pounds. And that seems like it's going to work again, okay? So I'm going to keep that diet framework for this week. Okay. If I'd only lost 1 pound, I might look for ways to start changing up my diet. But because I lost 2 pounds, which is the top end of my goal, I'm going to stick to it. See what happens. There's room for, not error, but there's room to, not lose as much weight. Only lose 1 pound, I guess is what I'm trying to say. That's okay. And so this week, sticking with the minimal dietary changes. Second thing, love, diet, exercise. I've been not exercising. It's been real difficult to get back into exercising. Not because I don't want to. There's this new, I've got Beachbody.com or the Beachbody app, and if you like to exercise, you should go check it out because you get, and that's not a paid advertisement either, because you got tens, maybe hundreds of video series. They're video series like the P90Xs and everything, but not everything that hard. They have beginner level, intermediate, advanced, and then master difficulty. So there's a beginner exercise called Country Heat, which is just line dancing for 30 minutes. And if you know me, that is right up my alley because I love dancing. But for some reason, I'm finding it difficult to get my toe into the water of exercising. And I don't know why that is, but I'm going to keep working at it. Make some small goals to go walking, potentially do that 30-minute Country Heat this week, and just try to start, again, just want to dip my toe into the waters of exercise, kind of get boiling a toad. If you slowly raise the heat on a toad, it won't jump out, apparently, because it doesn't realize that it's getting hotter, and before you know it, it'll be dead. That's what I want to do with exercise, except I'm the toad, and exercise is the heat. So I want to slowly build the amount of exercise I'm doing. And since the diet portion is working, I feel like I can take my time with the exercise. If I was really if I not get it together, but if the diet side was, like I was having difficulty restraining myself, I might pull in, or later, that might be the case. That might happen later in the diet. But with the exercise, with that going okay, I feel like I can let the exercise be what it is for right now. That's all I'm trying to say. Okay, so that's exercising. Could I do more? Probably. Don't want to overwhelm myself. So just gonna stick to it. Next week, this week, gonna continue looking to create my win, which is gonna be 1 to 2 pounds of weight loss. Continue to do the things that I'm doing to love myself, because I think I'm doing a lot. Probably more than I thought I would be doing at this point, which is fine. I'm enjoying it. I actually am enjoying it. I'm not just saying that because it's the right thing to say. I authentically am enjoying starting to love myself. It makes me happy. How good is that? I like being happy. Happiness is great. Don't you want to be happy? It's so easy. Yeah, says the guy who's this is like the tail end of a 15-year process. So finally, I'm happy. But yeah, that's what we're doing next week. We're staying the course. Also, instead of just opining randomly about topics, I thought that I would give y'all a chance to participate. So next week, I've had some thoughts in 3 areas, and I'll talk about them all eventually, but just what order do you want me to talk about them in? So reply in the comments, I guess, or if you have my personal information, contact me, or just think about it, and maybe those thoughts will influence my decision. Who knows? So the 3 topics are my deep thoughts on gratitude. That's right. Here's where that teaser from earlier pays off. Boom! The second potential topic is the threat of efficiency and perfection. Okay? And then the third one is the tedious nature of weight loss. Okay? Those are the 3 topics. Let me know which one you want me to talk about next week. No guarantee that I will, but there we have it. So, with that, I did want to leave you with a thought that I had over the week, as just kind of a closing note. So, which is, and I'm going to read it so I don't get it wrong. Our tendency, if we perceive ourselves as failing, is to quit. I think the rationale there is I'd rather be a quitter than a failure. So, let's redefine failure and success. Or, better yet, let's not make it about failure and success at all. Let's decide to do this because we are worth it. And I know what you're thinking. Leonard, we are worth it would be a pretty darn good catchy tagline to end all your videos on, right? Like, we are worth it. You get like, boom, fireworks and stuff. But apparently do we really have a new catchy tagline this week? Okay, here, give it to me. What do you mean you don't have it? Where is it? We're filming. Why wouldn't you have it? You filed it? You filed it. Where did you file it? In the file cabinet. Why do you have a file cabinet? It's 2020. Who keeps paper records in this guy? If I go and get this stupid thing, it's just not going to be a piece of paper that says catchy tagline on it, is it? Because I don't care what color it is, that's not what I'm looking for. It's not a piece of paper that just says catchy tagline. You sure? It's just going to be a piece of paper that says catchy tagline, isn't it? Well, let's get this over with. Seriously, who uses a filing cabinet? Oh my gosh. Woo. It is cool in my room though, that's This isn't Fort Knox. It's a weight loss video. We don't need envelopes for our catchy taglines. All this. Could have just handed it to me. Next time, just hand it to me. Don't need all this rigmarole. All right. Without further ado, it's not a piece of paper that says catchy tagline. It's 2 pieces of paper that say catchy tagline. Super thanks. Okay, bye. Hi, everybody. This is Sunday Leonard here to bring you the credits and the post-credit scene. Here are the credits. Well, page 1 of the credits. You probably already knew that, though. You're pretty smart. And then page 2. And then post-credit scene. So, when I was a kid, as I discussed, may or may not have had some eating problems. By the way, this cherry bubbly by Pepsi, I think it's by Pepsi. I don't know who does it. It's fantastic. I really enjoy it. Mostly I just did that so you didn't think I was drinking beer. But it is a Sunday afternoon, so who cares? I can do what I want. Anyway, at a time when I couldn't do what I want, but was also interested in cherry things, I was eating at Denny's with my mom. That was a frequent spot that the Stevens household went to. And I think I was 6, 7, 8. I was young. Kind of a little after the cream cheese story from last week. So a couple years, give or take. And so we're at Denny's. And I don't know if you've ever been to a Denny's, but if you haven't, next to the cash register at most of them, they have a pie case, right? I love pie. My favorite type of cake is pie. That's how much I love pie. And so I was like, Mom, you should totally get me a cherry pie. And she was like, no, I'm not going to get you a cherry pie. You're 8. You can't have a cherry pie to yourself. You know what? And I was like, well, how am I supposed to get it then? And she was like, well, if you earn the money and buy your own pie, you can have it. So I set about doing that. And I don't know if you've been 8 recently, but it takes a while to earn pie money when you're 8. Like, I think that pie costs like $15. That was like 85 bags of leaves or something, you know, like just hours of work. So like 6 months later, we're back at Denny's. My mom's probably completely forgotten about it. I have like just oodles of loose change in my pockets, because that's how you get paid as a kid, in change. So I just got some crumpled dollar bills and some change. So I'm sure that the cashier at Denny's was happy about that. But as soon as we get the bill, or as soon as we're done eating, I run up and before my mom could get there, and I ordered a pie. And she was the cashier was kind of skeptical. It's like, do you have money to pay for a pie? And out came all this, like, just change. And she was like, great. I think I had more money than was enough, but she kept the rest as a tip, which I'm 100% okay with. And so as my mom was approaching, I don't know how I got away from her this long, but as she was approaching, I had a pie. And she was like, absolutely not. And I was like, you said if I earned the money, I could buy a pie. And I had. So she was like, okay, do what you want with it. Which I don't think is the proper parenting response, but whatever. It was the 90s. And so I spent that afternoon, I think in about an hour, I ate the whole freaking pie. And again, like cream cheese, I got kind of sick because of it, but I still love cherry pie. In fact, I love to combine cherry pie and cream cheese together. So I don't learn at all. Anyway, glad that you guys watched again, and hope you have a great week. Yeah!